Welcome to an album in review on Tim's Vinyl Confessions. I'm Tim Derling, and I'm going to talk about a band and an album that I've talked at length about. As a matter of fact, I wrote a book about this band, Let It Be Your Guide, the Kansas Album Review. I'll have a link to purchase that below if you weren't aware of it or if you haven't picked it up yet. And actually, the title of this book comes from the opening track on the album I'm going to talk about today, and that is 1979's Monolith album. One of my favorite Kansas albums, and it's some of my favorite Kansas artwork. I love the mix of old and new. Not really a concept album, but when you first look at it, you kind of think that it might be. And so yeah, the opening track on the other side, beautiful, beautiful anthemic opener. Some of Steve Walsh's best vocals on this song, and on this whole album, actually. I think he's really reaching a vocal peak here, just unbelievable. And this song is no exception. And yeah, the lyric, Let It Be Your Guide, comes from On the Other Side. The biggest hit from this album and the only top 40 single was People of the South Wind, which got to number 23 on Billboard in 1979. And that song, the title of the song is a literal translation of Kansas, which refers to the Kansas Indian tribe. You know, just to me, this album, it didn't sell nearly as well as Leftoverture or Point of No Return, the previous two studio albums, but I think it's one of their best. There was no obvious hit single, so it didn't have that all-important hit single to make it sell 3, 4, 5 million copies. It teetering around platinum, but it's a great album, and it is one of the, I find, more common Kansas vinyl. If you're just starting a Kansas vinyl collection, definitely pick it up. It's worth getting for the artwork. The artwork's just a really lovely gatefold, and actually this CD reprints it. No, it doesn't. I'm wrong. But the front and back cover, anyway. But yeah, it's got Angels Have Fallen, which might be Steve Walsh's vocal peak. I don't know. Glimpse of Home is a great song. The whole album, just, if you don't like Kansas, you're not going to like this album. And this is not maybe where I'd start with the band, but if you're already kind of getting into it and you like what you hear, you could do worse than going to Monolith as your next, Kansas selection. And of course, that's, one of the albums covered here. I cover all the Kansas studio albums in this book. And one of my favorite parts of doing this was doing the spine of the book, because I wanted it to look like the old CBS CDs, which is what I managed to do using this impact font. I want to thank Matt Phillips from Go North Design for bringing that to fruition. Again, I'll have the link to the Kansas book below, but Monolith is an album that got overlooked in its time, and it deserves a second look. So thanks for watching this edition of an album in review on Tim's Vinyl Confessions. We'll see you later.